In the streets of Culiacan, there were burning cars, blocked roads, and deadly gang fights. Following the arrest of Ovidio Guzman, the son of notorious drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, the Mexican city in the northwest region of the Sinaloa Cartel has turned into a battleground. In light of this, the theme of today's video is the Sinaloa Cartel hitman who killed El Chapo's son. Do you know how the Sinaloa Cartel came to be in control before we go any further? A force took control in the 1980s from deep within Mexico's criminal underworld. El Padrino, also known as Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, was the leader of the Guadalajara cartel and regulated the transportation of drugs from Mexico to the United States. The Guadalajara cartel, however, was dismantled after DEA agent Kiki Camarena was brutally killed and captured. The Tijuana cartel and the Sinaloa cartel emerged from the ashes as two separate groups. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman and Mario El Mayo Zambada, two renowned individuals, rose to dominance in this region. Contrary to what many people think, El Mayo is thought to be the real brain behind the empire of trafficking. Do you know what source the white powder came from, and where was it supplied? Zambada oversaw an operation that involved smuggling white powder from Colombia to Mexico via boats and probably submarines before using vehicles including cars, trucks, and airplanes to deliver it to the majority of major US cities. The 1990s saw a rise in the Sinaloa cartel's power as a result of their expert ability to form clever partnerships and carry out cunning coordinating strategies. El Mayo and El Chapo, who controlled the complicated smuggling network that covered several states and cities, including Arizona, California, Chicago, and New York, ruled this massive criminal empire with a strong grasp. As one of the most infamous and powerful drug trafficking organizations in the world with a horrifying reputation for brutality, the Sinaloa Cartel rose to the top of the underground network of cartels. The cartel is allegedly responsible for the murder of innocent women and children, the sexual assault of rivals' relatives, and even the dissolution of its victims' bodies in acid vats. Fueled by his violent and cruel emotions, El Macho discovered his ideal home in this dark and dangerous environment. Zambada was constantly looking for young, deadly enforcers to help him expand his criminal empire, and when he first saw El Macho, he knew he had found the right person. The brutal gunslinger was soon given the position of assassination chief under Zambada, establishing his terror reign over Culiacan and beyond. El Macho, a cold-blooded killer with no sympathy for those who offended him, wasted no time in establishing an infamous title. During his tenure in Sinaloa, the Mexican government believes he was responsible for more than 80 assassinations, including the horrific execution of at least 12 police officers. El Macho consistently manages to evade justice and hold on to power despite numerous attempts to have him imprisoned. But what happened that made the bond between El Mayo and his devoted enforcer more complicated? El Macho was so defenseless. El Macho continues to gain power and fortune as a result of his criminal enterprise, but brutality, greed, and betrayal served as the cornerstones on which his success was constructed. But numerous lives had been lost in order for him to get to the top. He attracted attention to himself with needless harshness, which was in addition to his unstable and violent behavior being observed. He had no qualms about getting into small fights that might lead to him shooting innocent bystanders in the open. But despite several protests from the government employees and lieutenants who worked there, El Macho thrived. His good fortune would soon end, though, as the shadows were drawing near and a reckoning was approaching. Guzman Lopez was taken into custody by the authorities on January 5, 2023, in Culiacan's Jesmara neighborhood. The night before he was detained, Guzman Lopez attended a family gathering. Within 10 minutes of entering Guzman Lopez's home, the military carried out a dawn attack using a helicopter and a convoy of ground vehicles and captured him. A federal judge gave Guzman Lopez a 60-day preventative custody order the day after his arrest, so that American authorities might formally request his extradition. After the arrest, the Culiacan, Los Mochis, and Guasave cities reported gunfire, barricades, and fires. Following Guzman Lopez's capture, the U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Control imposed sanctions in accordance with Executive Order 14059 against individuals and companies connected to the Sinaloa Cartel's networks that supplied drugs needed to make methamphetamine and fentanyl illegally in so-called super laboratories. The criminal case against Guzman Lopez in the United States was updated on the same day as these announcements, and the trial lawyer from the Department of Justice's Narcotic and Dangerous Drug section took over as the official government counsel. Unnamed sources in the Mexican government were cited by CBS News as saying that the US has formally demanded the extradition of Guzman Lopez on February 28, 2023. We're done here for today. I'll see you folks in the following. Take care until next time.